it's like a moral collapse. I mean, this is the most shocking part of this story, a moral collapse of the police. These are armed police officers, by the way, in the US. But as you said, and actually, two of them went in and got their own kids, which seems to me to be particularly, nerve-wracking. They managed to do that. But it's like a loss of nerve, there's something... And what's more is the parents were outside and they were lining up to stop the parents going in to try and rescue their own children. And we've just heard they have admitted that they probably made a mistake. I mean, that's the understatement of the year.
Well, yeah.
Instinctively, if you're going to have police officers and the police, the one thing you'd expect them to do is to go beyond the call of duty in an instance like this. Never mind what the rules say, to just go in and do what you can. And I know, I mean, I wouldn't be brave enough to do it. Maybe that's what you say, but you want to think that there will be bravery and courage in a situation like that, and we saw the opposite.
I can tell you, Martin, there's not a police officer in the land that would prevent me if my son was in a room with a madman with a gun, a person with a gun. There's not a police officer in the land that would be able to barricade me on the outside of that door. Nobody.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? It's like they've been disconnected from their prime purpose, which is to run towards trouble. And as Claire said, these guys have got weapons, and there were lots of them, and there was one gunman in the classroom. So it seems absolutely dismal that they didn't do their duty.
But the flip side of this, though, Daniel, if I'm going to think about it opposite, if you're on a plane and there's a bit of danger, you're always told you put your own gas mask on first. You protect yourself because you're no good to anyone if you're not kind of protected first. So maybe that's the counter-argument.
I think, first of all, I find it very hard to criticise any individual for not putting their own life at risk. And I don't know the situation of those individual police officers. But what I do think is the case is that there's a managerial culture in operation, even in the emergency services now, which says health and safety of our staff is the priority. There was a case a little while ago of a kid drowning in a pond. This was in England. And the two policemen stood at the side calling for backup. One of them might have got in to try and rescue him because their procedures tell them that this is what they've got to do. And it comes from a managerial culture. So I wouldn't criticise individuals, and I don't know their circumstances at the time. But the system is not working for people, and it's working against it. It's working against acts of individual courage.